9, 10. Alright, how's it going, everybody? My name's Infamous Isaac, and for you guys, it might be a couple days before you see this after like the Lost Belt 1 video, but for me, this is right after the Lost Belt 1 video. So my voice is sore, my throat is sore, excuse me. I still haven't eaten breakfast, I have a headache, but I still want to talk about this, honestly, because I don't want to postpone it any longer before I forget literally everything that happens in the story. But today, I'm going to be talking about Agartha, a sub-singularity in Fate Grand Order, the mobile game that came out in 2016. And so, for context, right, or at least for context into what I did, um, I played this right after I played Lost Belt 1 because Lost Belt 1 was really long. I mentioned that in the first video. It's super long. So, like, going into another one, right after, it's like, okay, I'm gonna need a break from how long these were. So I'm gonna do a sub-singularity. And what's it called? I went into Agartha. I was gonna do like Agartha, then Salem, then Shimosa, but I was like, nah, I'm just gonna do Agartha, Shimosa, then Salem, and just go into it like that. And Agartha is it's hilarious. I'm not gonna lie, like compared to the seriousness of what's it called? Uh, Anastasia or Lost Bowl 1, it's hilarious. Like it was some lighthearted relief that I needed. It was definitely a looser story compared to the other ones. It had its darker, grim moments. It had its really dark and grim moments, but it was hilarious most of the time. And basically, this take place in 2080 under like I think Asia, like underground in Asia, the subterranean world as they describe it. Yeah, literally subterranean world of folklore. Oh, actually, I just noticed that with the ending. Now that makes a lot more sense. All right, but yeah, so this is underground. The surface does not play a part in this. And basically, the main character is sleeping, and he gets sent to this. He gets race shifted into this world. Like, or actually, no, I think that's Shimosa. Never mind. He gets race shifted into this world, and he comes with he doesn't come with Mash because these sub singularities, they don't have Mash in them. She's with Da Vinci in Chaldea, and so people that come with him are Chevalier Dion, I think that's how you pronounce her name since it's French, and Astolfo, one of the 12 Knights of Charlemagne. And so they race shift with him, and I already like the serpents that he has because Astolfo, like, people don't like Astolfo either because he's a trap or his personality is just really annoying. But I like Astolfo. Excuse me. Oh my goodness, I'm stuttering so bad. Astolfo's personality to me is hilarious. I think it's some lighthearted comedy and just like having that positivity in there like makes the characters or adds a lot to the characters that are with them. And then Chevalier Deon, since she's or excuse me, he or them, whatever they are, what's it called? They're on the more serious side, but Astolfo and their dynamic, like it adds a lot to their story, like, since like they contrast each other so much, but they work well. And so yeah, they race shift together, and they find out very quickly that this is an all woman like world. This is an Amazonian, a pirate, and I think a Chinese world basically. It's divided into four sections: the Revolutionary Army, the Amazonians, the pirates, and whatever the last one was. The Nightless City. There you go. And one thing is in common between the first three, or not the first three, the all woman ones, is that men do not are not equal. They are treated like slaves, tools for baby making, and like lesser people compared to women. And it's like the Amazonians just like they destroy men. They completely like dog on them. They use them as tools to what's it called? They just use them as tools, literally. The Nightless City has men as pets, basically more pets and servants than actual humans. and the pirates literally they just toy with them. They kill men on a daily. Oh, what's that? All right, where was I? Okay, so basically, men are not treated equal in Agartha. And we come to find this out because the first people that we see are the Amazonians, and they do not like us because of my character being a male. And so, I wonder if the dialogue is different if you're a female. I need to look that up to see, because it would be mad funny if it was. But yeah, we basically we skedaddle because of help from Revolutionary Army, aka men. And the person who works on what's it called over there. Actually, should I? I'm not gonna say their names until the end because it's nice. It's honestly a nice what's it called. And so we meet um what's this dude's name? Um Let me see. Where is he? Um Agartha. I can't find him. Hopefully they show him. Hopefully they show him. Hopefully they show him. Fergus, thank you so much. They actually showed him. Oh, that's fire. That's so fire. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, Fergus. You have. They don't mention their name yet. Okay. But yeah. So Fergus, who is actually a raging sex addict and a pervert, is here, but not as an adult, as a young man. And so now we see him as a kid, and he's completely different. He's a young man training, who does is afraid to hit women because of his moral code. So against in a world filled with women, that doesn't work. So he's basically like Vanguard, in a sense, for my main character. And long story short, we go to the Revolutionary Army. We um we go to the pirate city. Oh well, we go to the Revolutionary Army. We meet more people in there. The leader we meet, he's a weird guy. He's very charismatic and leader like, but there's something weird about him. Like something that you feel is just like something's not right here. But yeah, regardless, we go to the pirate city East, whatever it is. We see one of the people that was supposed to come with us, um, Francis Drake, but this is not Francis Drake. This is like a different version of her that was summoned here because of the Holy Grail and all that, right? And so, what's it called? We defeat them. They say their name is Dahut or Daut, whatever, however you pronounce it. Dahut. That's how you spell it. And so yeah, we do that. We go to to their city. It's disgusting. It's actually nasty because the mentality is don't hold on to anything too long. Just get what you want and discard it. And that applies to anything. Men, women, or well, men and any mortal possessions, like anything. And so what's it called? Yeah, the main characters are like, that's not a way to live because look at what it's doing to your city. There's so much trash everywhere, and people don't value anything. Like, people don't even value their lives. Like, it's crazy, and they're just like, yeah, but I mean, that's just the way we live, you know. It's our way of living, and it's, to us, are the best way of living. So we beat them. And something weird happens, right? We see Heracles show up, but not normal Heracles. This dude has been modified. He is not normal Heracles. And he shows up, and the next thing you know, the Amazonians show up. And next thing you know, the leader of the Nightless City shows up, and the city for the pirates is destroyed because a flood happens in it. It is so much damage and chaos, it's insane. And so we barely managed to escape. And then next, our target is the Nightless City, the person that showed up and caused the flood. So we go there and we see that men again are being treated like pets. And so, what's it called? All right, so they're not treated equal. They're not treated equal at all whatsoever. And so we're like, all right, this is not okay. If you're a man and you defy like a woman's command, even like the slightest bit, you're gonna get executed and tortured for fun in the public plaza. This is not okay. So they go to the leader. They notice it's the same person that was in what's it called, the pirate city, and they're like, "Yo, what is wrong with you?" And she's just like, "Nah, I enjoy it." So they beat her up. I don't remember if I don't remember if the Amazonians show up here or not, but they things go bad over there. Things go really bad over in the Nightless City. Actually, they do show up, yeah, because the Amazonians take over the Nightless City and everything. Basically, every raid that's happened so far has not gone too well, but to the objective itself, it has gone perfectly. And so, what's it called? The what's it called? The excuse me, I really repeated it twice in the same sentence. The Revolutionary Army tries to launch a sneak attack on the main city of the Amazonians, El Dorado, with the Amazonian leader being in the other city, Denial City. But the Amazonians read this, like actually hard read this and countered them completely like, yo, y'all think we're stupid or something, bro? Like, you really think that we wouldn't look out for this? And so they get bodied, they get cooked. A lot of their forces get whooped, bars. And so the Revolutionary Army gets sent with their tails in their legs home. What's it called? So now morale is low, and the leader is like, all right, okay, men, let's do it. Let's get this bag. And they're like, let's go! And now they're hype again. And so while they're getting ready, another thing happens. The camp gets set on fire by the Amazonians. And this brings morale down even lower. And so, what's it called? Colum. I almost just said who he was. You probably know who it is now, but if you didn't, I still won't say it. But jeez, I'm so clumsy with what I'm saying. So yeah, the leader is like, all right, men, for the second and final time, let's get this bread. Like, let's go. And so, one thing I neglected to mention was that there was somebody in the Nightless City who was working with the assassin of that Nightless City, and it was a caster. She's dark skinned, she's way too thick. I don't know what they were doing with her. And so she's like, alright, well, if it means I don't die, I'll join you guys because I am so deathly afraid of death that I do not want to die ever. Like, ever again at all. And what's it called? Where is it? Where is it? There you go, that's her name. Alright. So the caster reveals her name to us. Shirhaz or Shehrazad. It's I don't know how to pronounce her name. She's a person that wrote the 1001 Nights like stories all the way back like whenever they were written, and she what's it called? It was basically like, oh, a girl. She's like, she sees that the king's killing a bunch of women that come in every night with him, and so to stop him, she goes in and she tells him a story every single night. She was feeding her life and all that, and it's wild. It's wild. It's a very loose summary and a very probably very wrong summary, but whatever. You know, misinformation is unintentional, but inevitable when you're on this channel. Like, it's I apologize for that. But yeah, so now the caster, Shurhad. I gotta look it up later. All right, but yeah, so she's like, let's devise a plan, and they devise a plan to catch Heracles, basically, since the Amazonian leader and Heracles have beef. Well, more like the Amazonian leader has beef with Heracles because she thinks that Heracles is Achilles, and so they get Heracles, but the Amazonians try to jump them as well in the river boat, in the passage of the sea, in the the river city of the pirates. And so basically their boat gets destroyed and they get sunk into the city of like the real city of El Dorado or Atlantis, I think, I don't remember. And they find a tamate box or a box where you can do any wish and it'll basically do it like. And so the people there are like, oh, lit, all right, let's get these boxes. Let's see if there's any more. And they have Heracles there as well. By the way, such an annoying boss fight. I did not like that boss fight. It was so annoying because I was so close to beating it, and I would always like have to use a quart, a saint quart, because of the fact that like I was right there. But I do not care about like integrity when I fight in these battles. Like I'm here for the story and the story alone, not for the battles. But yeah, so regardless, they basically have Heracles attached to the leader of the revolutionary army. Not a good idea at all. Not a smart play. But because the connection between Chaldea and our master is cut, there is nothing we can do about it. Oh man, all right. But yeah, so where was I? Where was I? Where was I? This video is gonna be like, there's so many edits and cuts I have to do later, but there's like keep getting messages on my phone, like whatever. I might just leave them in. If not, then whatever. But okay, so basically they leave the city after battling the who was actually not dead, but who landed there, and she fades out of existence because she's a servant, and she's like, oh, I remember now. I'm Francis Drake. Dang, this sucks. I'm dying now. And we just have one more final battle between like them, and she's like, I want the master. I want him, like sex. And they're like, nah, you get bodied. And they do that, and now they're like, okay, we have Heracles, we have everybody. We get back to the surface. Mash and Da Vinci are there. They're like, oh, you guys put Heracles onto him? Well, that's bad. That's really bad. But there's something we can do about it now. Alright. Let's go beat the Amazonian leader. And so they go to her. They're like, alright, let's box. She's not berserked or anything like that for some reason. But it'll happen later. Astolfo and Dion, who I haven't mentioned at all, are fighting all the Amazonian women outside while everybody else is inside fighting the leader. And so we learn her name is Penthesilea? Let's see. Yeah, Penthesilea. And let's see. Alright, so yeah, they learned her name, they learned that Achilles fought her, and she saw it as dishonorable for Achilles to call her beautiful instead of letting her die like a warrior. Which we learn more about in Apocrypha, which is pretty cool, honestly. Like, I really enjoy what they taught us in Apocrypha. Like, he wasn't being disrespectful, he was just complimenting her because he really was the most beautiful lady he's ever seen. Like, but regardless, so yeah. They're fighting, they're boxing, and we beat them. She vanishes, and Heracles and the leader are there like, all right, well, time to reveal our plan, because he remembered who he was. He wasn't evil because he didn't remember who he was, but he was a Voyager. And the Voyager, if you caught on earlier when I let his name slip, is Christopher Columbus. But granddaughter notices two things about Christopher Columbus. One, the fact that he was a good leader, but two, the fact that he was a slave trader and not a good person. So they highlight that a lot once his true personality is revealed. This dude wants all these women, all these Amazonian women, so they can be slaves and traded, get a lot of value, and he can become rich. And he's like, this, for you guys, this seems like a wrong thing to do. But for me, this is what I knew in my world. So I'm gonna still do that because that's what I know. And so they're like, yeah, nah, you're evil, my guy. Like, you're done. So they clap him, they clap everybody there. And now the main. Oh, alright. The main thing is that, what's it called? After Columbus is clapped, Heracles is clapped, the main person, who isn't a bad guy, just they're driven by emotions, like very strong emotions, is the caster. Sure, I'm not gonna pronounce her name. The caster of Nightless City. There you go. She's there, and it's revealed that she's been working with the demon god pillar so that they can become immortal and destroy the planet, so they don't have to die anymore. Because they hate dying, since the demon god pillar is a phoenix, and what's her face had to go 1001 nights fearing that she would die. So they're tired of it. They're tired of dying. They hate it. And so now we have to fight them as El Dorado gets taken up from the ground, and it's called a different name now, and it's called La Puta, aka the whore. And so it's that part had me cracking up because I'm Spanish, so hearing a Japanese game have something called La Puta in like a serious sense, it's just so funny to be like. It was so funny. But yeah, so next thing you know, they're all fighting on El Dorado or La. I'm not gonna La Puta, La, the whore. There you go. And they beat up the Demon God Pillar, and they're like, "Yo, listen, join us, please. Like, dying isn't so bad. Like, if you're gonna spend your whole life fearing that you're gonna die, then there's no point. You didn't live. If you're just living for the sake of living, like, then you're not living." Is literally Fergus was the one. Like, he was there. He was like, "Yo, you sound stupid right now. You sound mad dumb." And she's like, "But like, you wouldn't understand. You live by a warrior's code." And she's like, "No, this is just everybody's code. Like, if you're living just because you're afraid to die, then you're not living." And everybody's like, "Yeah, that's how it is, you know." And so she's getting closer and closer. Like, all right, I understand what you mean. And it's revealed that she was the one that created all this because since she did the 1001 Night stories, she also knows a bunch of folklore, which is why they have El Dorado, the place underground with the boxes that wish anything, the cherry blossoms that were in the Revolutionary Army, Amazonians, pirates, all that type of stuff, like folklore and stories that you would hear all over the world. That's why the subterranean world of folklore is called that, because there's a bunch of folklore into one place. Since she's a storyteller. And Fergus is like, alright, no, listen. And more of the old Fergus is coming out because the adult one, like, he's peeking through. And he's like, it's sexual harassment with what he's saying, like at least the main characters say it is. But he's spitting some facts. And he's trying to convince her, and he convinces her. And he's like, if we weren't here, I would make love to your body. And he's just like, bro, that's sexual harassment. Like, trying to give her a reason to keep going, you know? Like, it's not good the way he's doing it, but he's giving her a reason. And so now, what's it called? She's like, all right, fine, I'll find a reason to live. And he's like, or she's like, oh, okay. Demon God Pillar, you suck. I'm going with them now. You're trash. And they beat him up, and he's like, no, please, have mercy. And she's like, here's a present for you. And then they beat him. So getting to the close, getting to the end of it, all the men are there. They're like, "Dang, our boss was a trash, like horrible human being." They're like, "Yeah, he sucks." He's like, "Oh, okay. At least we get to go back to our families then. We're finally alive." Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention the assassin of the Nightless City also showed up because she didn't die, and she showed up to help the main crew because what's it called? The demon god pillar insulted her, and but mostly because of some other reasons too. And in the game, you have a choice. So like she's a kid, like she's a kid, but she's a slimy one, but she's a kid. And one of the options that you have when you first meet her is like, "Aw, you're so cute. Let me pat your head," or "Aw, you're so cute. Let me give you a candy." And when she shows up again, but now you know her true personality and she's helping you, you have that option again. And then when she dies, she's like, "You know what? You did so well. I think I'm gonna reward you. Next time you see me, I think I will let you pat my head." And I was like, "Oh, that's so cute." It warmed my heart so much. But yeah, then we get to the end of Agartha. We learn all this, the plot twist, like who the people were, why the other folklore, everything and like that. And we have a scene at the end of it where they're in Chaldea, and you see, sure, the caster, and you see Fergus. Like Fergus is trying to go about his daily days, and you see her like peeking. And then when he turns around, he notices like, oh, there's a fine woman looking for me. She hides. She goes into hiding, and she's like, if I ever let him find me, he's gonna give me a reason to want to die, and that's because they're gonna have such immaculate sex, quote unquote, that it's gonna kill her. Like it's literally going to kill her. And so she's like, I can never have that happen. I want to live now. And yeah, there you go. That's the end of Agartha. Fergus and Shahar. Let me. Shahar is. Oh my goodness, I can't. It's so hard to pronounce. It's so hard. Like, okay, but yeah, that's around that. That's the end of Agartha. It's short. It's on the shorter side. It was a lot funnier. It did have some dark stuff in it, but it was a lot funnier compared to the Lost Boat one, where it's just serious all the way through. But let me see. Uh, yes, please pronounce it. Pronounce it, please. Scheherazade. Okay, okay. Scheherazade. And yeah, honestly, I enjoyed this one. It wasn't as good as the other sub singularities, but it was better than some of the first singularities, like from Orleans to London. It was better than most, but it wasn't better than all. Or well, it was better than some, but it wasn't better than most. Is all I'm trying to say. Agartha was a fun singularity to go through. It was just funny. It was it was eh. Like sometimes with the fights, I didn't think the fights were great, but it was funny to go through the story. The twists at the end were pretty cool, honestly. Like with the folklore, I thought that was pretty sick. It makes like it connects everything together. It makes the title make more sense. I enjoyed it. Like I don't have too many gripes with it, but the gripes I do are just like the fights I didn't like them. It was serious sometimes, but it wasn't like a completely serious story. It was just a light-hearted, fun story with slavery and a bunch of sexual harassment. It was crazy. The characters I enjoyed. I really enjoyed the characters. I thought they were so funny. Like the cast of characters that they got, it was good. I definitely enjoyed the cast of characters. Overall, I'll give it a 6 out of 10, like a 6, 7. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. And honestly, that's why I'm gonna have to end it here for now. Like it was my stomach is dying. So I'm gonna go eat some breakfast, even though it's 1 p.m. right now. So yeah, this has been Infamous Isaac. Hope you guys enjoyed. Again, I hope you guys stay safe during the holidays or in like in general. And I'll check y'all out.